you hear me okay? Sorry it took so long to get set up. Okay, I am here. Hello, hello, hello. Level shifters are mid. What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing? Hope everyone's doing well. All right, we got the chats going. We're doing a little bit simply. I'm not streaming to 4 different outputs. We're just doing Twitch and YouTube today. So hopefully chat will be easier to read. And then I've got my multi-stream chat, which will hopefully work. It looks like it's been updated. But welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. This is going to be a pretty exciting stream. It's going to be a lot to talk about and a lot to do. So let me first have this stream schedule up. I meant to update it a little bit more, but hey, well, still include a rough understanding of what we're doing today. So hello, hello. Let's make chat a little bit bigger. All right. So, maybe we can answer some questions as we are just kind of settling into the stream. I think I shared it on social platforms enough. I should probably do a little bit more, but someone's asking about where to get paper in America. Got some good recommendations going. I do advise, I assume if you don't want to buy online, maybe you're young, just want to go to a store. But just look online, ask your parents. The stuff I have listed on my website are very reputable, very easy to get, very cheap for some of it. It's probably gonna be your best bet. If you have a Blick Arts around you, then you are very blessed and you can just go there and then you don't need to do anything online. You can kind of fully survive on Blick Arts alone for basically to be able to fold anything. If you want to fold anything up to Ryujin, you can fold Ryujin with double tissue or a larger sheet of mulberry combined with another one from Blick Arts. You can fold all the humanoids with Legion paper from Blick Arts. You can, you can wet fold masks with Arches watercolor. It's like the all-in-one. Dollar Tree has some strong tissue for making tissue papers. Some rolls or sheets, because the sheets getting a square is hard, then you should watch my tutorial on how to cut squares, because it's not that hard. Get yourself a cutting mat. Anyone know alternatives to MC? You can get CMC, you can just use straight PVA, just glue, white glues. Again, it looks like some of y'all need to watch the Ultimate Paper Guide a little bit more, because I have recommendations to all these questions there. So if you haven't seen it all the way, definitely check that out. You're going to find a lot of information from a lot of the series. I have even a video with a bunch of guests that share a lot of their processes. So you can really see, it's not just one way. There's people have been able to do this from many parts of the world with very limited resources, stuff like that. I got my nice coffee. Hi, voice and all. Hello, Spot. How's it going? Let's say hi to people. Hello, Demos, Toaster Shirt, Foot Knowledge. How's it going? Pio, hello, hello. Nathan, Benny, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. I like seeing your guys' username or profile pictures. This one doesn't show me the profile picture, but I think that's okay. Let's see, did we miss anyone else? Demjaren had to go. Thanks for stopping by. He's a long time, a very consistent viewer. Unfortunately, couldn't tune in this week, but it's glad to say hi. Hello, hello. Yeah, you'll probably always have to cut paper no matter what if you treat it, because the paper will warp a little bit. So get good at cutting squares. It just takes some practice. It's really not that hard. And if you mess up a little bit, it's honestly okay. Not the end of the world. Speaking of which, I just cut paper for the square to a samurai and like another one. Like this is a mulberry that I'll talk about this a little bit more as we get into the stream, but this paper definitely didn't start as a square either. No one would know, right? You guys don't know. I barely felt the difference when folding it. Kind of cool, but we'll see. Other things before we kind of get into our normal routine. In the background, actually, it's probably hard to tell. You might notice that there are some models missing. like the DPA assassins. So for those of you who are in America, and if you are specifically in the Bay Area, which might not be any of you, but if anyone watching this is from the Bay Area, right now, I have a few models displayed at Paper Tree in Japantown. And let me grab a photo of what this looks like really quick so I can show y'all. Let's actually have this guy going. Probably should have set this up. All right. Let's see here. Oh, and he is not alive. There you go. Oh, and the exposure is like way down. Let's get everything looking okay. There we go. That looks better, right? All right. So Paper Tree, if you aren't familiar, also another store that you can buy paper from. It's an origami store, which is rare. Run for multiple generations in San Francisco. Very reputable people and respectful people. The owners have, they're, leaders in the space. A lot of people still might not know just about Paper Tree, but it's historical. Definitely support them. We need people like that. But they have offered to host some of my models. These are actually on sale in their store. So again, if you know someone who would want to buy them, or if you want to buy them, you can ask for the prices. Or if you just want to see some of my models displayed, they'll be up in gallery for quite a while. So that's really cool. The three-headed dragon, little dragon. This is a Samurai version 4. This is the 2 DPA with sword variant and a regular one that was made from the tutorial. And then to accompany it is my diagrams for the little dragon, which you can buy in person. I believe there's also a link for an online purchase if you want to buy it online. I will also set up a portal on my website eventually, but I'm super busy, so I haven't been able to do that yet. So if you would like to do that earlier, you can go check that out. It looks like it's $10. It's a pretty decent price. You get Little Dragon. It's been such a hit. I just taught this at the Origami World Marathon 2 weekends ago. And yeah, a lot of people loved it. I also taught it at Peacock. A bunch of people loved it there. I got a ton of compliments like, Boyce is the best complex teacher I've had, that sort of stuff. So I think in general, this is just a really successful design that's, not super easy, I should say, or not super beginner friendly. But it's simple in terms of how it looks, and it's a fun sequence with some challenging steps. So I think that's, that's really great in design, and I think you'll enjoy it. But yeah, later on, I'll be selling those on my website, so stay tuned. But that's kind of exciting. That's big news for me. I was really busy building boxes. I think one of the past streams, I was building a box. It might not have been for those, or I might have showcased for some of those. But I was building it for Bailu, which we're going to talk about today from TwitchCon. And I still have the test fold. All right, so we are going to talk more about that. You live in SF? Oh, that's right, Benny. Yeah, you can, you've been to Paper Tree. That's where I met you. You can go check out my work at Paper Tree. So, oh, Butterfingers. Yo, what's up? Hey, thanks for answering some of those questions. Butterfinger is very knowledgeable about origami in general. Good stuff. Use PVA. Yep. Elmer's glue diluted with water works fine. It does. That's true. You'll just have to practice. It's a little bit less easy to work with than MC, I guess, because it sticks more, but totally works. Hola. Hello, Rin Rose. Thank you for joining in the stream. All right, so let's, man, the lighting's pretty good for this. Purple. Let's move on to just our general affair. So what are we doing today? Why is this stream, the title that it is? All right, so first we're going to take a look at some origami just to kind of warm up. It's been a little while since we checked out Origami Dan and did some exciting stuff. Yo, Daydreaming, thank you for subbing. Thanks for the Prime sub. Is that Daydreaming? Is that Reza? Or is that someone else? If it's someone else, or if it's Reza, hit me up on Instagram or Discord so I can add you to the member server. Which, oh, it's Reza. Yeah, what's up, Reza? I don't think you're in there yet, so hit me up on Discord and I'll get you there. Maybe after the stream. But thank you, dude. Thank you for the Prime sub. Let's go. Yeah. Nice little benefit. Yeah, guys. So not only do YouTube members get into the Discord, if you sub on Twitch, then you're good to go too. Even if it's a Prime sub, which Prime subs are free. I guess that's the free way to get into the members Discord. It's technically not free, but I guess it's a little bit. What's up, man? Good to see you. Okay, so we're going to check out Discord. Speaking of Discord, check that out. And then I am going to talk about what it was like to go to TwitchCon as an origami artist. And in fact, like, why did I even go? So maybe you've seen the recent YouTube short that I did, and I talked about it a little bit before, but there's kind of a bigger overarching reason that I've been working towards and exploring that I wanted to go. And then because I went, what did I learn? So I think it's going to be really nice because I've gone into this not just as like an event, not just like, our origami convention. I just kind of go, show up, maybe a little bit of a plan, but it's, kind of the normal thing. Like I'm there for origami. Twitch, it's like completely outside my lane. I went by myself. But because I went in with strategy, I'm going to share with you all everything I learned. Which might be things that if you went, you might not have thought to try to learn. I don't know how many people would try to learn this stuff going in, not knowing the space. So, if you ever have, if you're wondering, what is it like doing content creation, some of the strategies you got to think about, that'll be pretty fun to listen. And then lastly, hard origami folds. So this is a YouTube short I wanted to make. We are either going to do that on stream, which basically the concept for that video I'm making is just showing some random origami folds. It's going to be like a little bit comedic, but they're going to be some, I'm sure you've seen a lot of shorts where it has different levels, like harder and harder basketball shots. Level 1, and it's like a regular shot. Level 2, he like shoots it backwards or something like that. Level 3, it's like across the whole court, something like that. So this is I'm trying to do something similar with origami. There's a few folds that I think would be fun to showcase. So it'll be both beneficial for people who know origami and maybe pull in some new people too. And then run like a joke at the end. So I'll either work on that or we'll work more on this. So especially after TwitchCon, I really just wanted the fold stuff. You know what I mean? I had recently finished editing the convention vlog, which took a lot of my time. I've been doing some other behind the scenes work. And I just wanted to fold and shape something for myself again. I guess I folded the Bailu really, really quickly. But it's not entirely my specialty, that's kind of for fun and for TwitchCon. But this is just for my style, building my repertoire and skills. So at a quick glance, it's obviously not done yet, but it's a knight. And it's the same longsword design that I had before, but I'm trying to shape it better, basically. So this is arguably the test fold. And you might have also seen the short where I'm like, hey, do you like this version or the first version of the sword and shield first? Which they're roughly the same. And a lot of people like the first one better. And I like the first one better too. I think this one's cool with the pose and some of the structure, but the helmet's really weird. I was trying to get a little experimental and it looks a little bit flat all around. And this one, the helmet, I'm still, it's still a little bit rough. But I did some studying on different helmet shapes and it looks a little bit more normal. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be doing some painting I've been deep diving the rabbit hole of like miniature, like Warhammer 40K miniature painting. And I'm like, hey, I really just like the textures that they're able to do on the surface. So if I want a metallic, finish, or even if I just leave it like dark, just adding some highlight, I think that'd be pretty fun. And I think it'll make the mask look a lot better because on camera, it's getting washed out by the darkness a lot. But with some highlights, I think it'll look pretty cool. But yeah, I like where the armor and the helmet is looking. And then as you can see, this pose with the giant sword is he's just going to be like holding it and it's stuck in the ground. So I'm pretty excited for this. So maybe we'll work on this a little bit too. We'll kind of have to see. And then lastly, I did have a request, which is a lot of people have. Actually, it's a little bit of both. Let me switch back. So one, and like whenever I answer this question, I forget which stream I mentioned it, but this is for both the sword and shield and head empty. A lot of people don't realize for sword and shield you have to do the stick, right, like this. So if you're working on the sword and shield, and I've sent you to this video, the stick is like this. You fold in half with like basically a big rabbit ear on both sides. That's how you do it. And for head empty, not a tutorial, by the way. People are very curious about the back of the first one. This flap. This is an inverted flap. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to make a very quick like 8x8 grid and just demonstrate how to do a inverted flap. One, so it's saved on the stream. Two, because I think I want it in my YouTube short. That's going to be one of the steps, like inverting a flap. Something like that. And then, yeah, then people can understand. Because I think when I say invert a flap, if you've never done it before, it's very difficult. But in reality, it's not that difficult if you understand what's going on. It's more so people aren't able to keep track of their paper as well. So once they start inverting something and the collapse opens up, they like forget where things are. But I think if they're able to practice an easy version, then they add that familiarity. And when they go to do it on their big model, they don't have to open the paper as much. So we'll see. What's up, Mark? Good evening, people. Hope I'm not too late. Nope, we are still just starting. We haven't even gotten to the Discord review yet. But for those wondering about the head empty back, or that flap inversion, that's what the inverted flap looks like. You can take a picture, do something. I don't know. But I think that'll help a lot of people, and it'll make it easier for me when I have to answer all those questions, which is very often. We'll keep head empty hanging out with us over there. But that is kind of the goal for today. Let's keep Bailu here hanging out. I was going to give away this one too, but I decided, I'll just give away the one. Keep this one for myself. I think the design is actually pretty intuitive. The other one I folded was a lot better in terms of quality than this one. I was like, man, I'm actually giving away like a really nice model. But it was lit. I think the guy enjoys it quite a lot. I'm like, do I make another one for myself? But it's okay. See, people are answering more questions about paper. Boys, when you order mulberry from Blick, does it come in a roll or a sheet? It comes in a sheet. I demonstrate showing it. I've been demonstrating it for years, actually, of me cutting out the mulberry rectangles myself. I have Hanji from Amazon. That comes in a roll. You just cut that out in a rectangle, treat it so that you can cut a square. So like anything, even if it's in a roll, you can't avoid cutting a perfect square, which again doesn't have to be perfect, but just get a cutting mat, follow the guides of how to cut squares, practice it. Don't allow that to be an obstacle for you. If you're allowing that to be an obstacle for you, then just overcome it because honestly, it shouldn't be an obstacle. And if it is, it's going to make your life a lot harder. It's not much to get past. No, basically, it doesn't have to be an obstacle. So don't worry about that too much. Is there other papers treated similar to mulberry? Yeah, Wenjo, Any handmade paper basically will be similar. It just depends on the thickness. Wenju is probably harder to get than mulberry and more expensive. Yep. Stab answered it. Hanji Kojo, double tissue. Double tissue, not really, is like mulberry. Double tissue is kind of its own thing. It's not as flexible or stretchy as mulberry, but a lot of handmade fibrous papers are mulberry paper. So like Kozo is technically a mulberry. There's pure Kozo, which technically isn't, I guess, but you're not going to be buying that, I don't think. Unryu, that's a mulberry paper. A lot of Hanjis. Hanji is just Korean paper. That's just what it means. A lot of Hanjis are Korean mulberry papers. Might you buy your book in paper tree? Sounds good. Sounds good. Thank you, man. Peter, Wonko, splitting squares off a roll is easy and accurate. Yeah. If you need to treat it though, again, cut the roll first, treat it. You're going to have to cut the square again. So give yourself some extra space. Because it probably won't still be a square once you finish treating it. Probably chicken. Hello. Thanks for tuning in. All right. So let's get to Discord really quickly. If I go to screen share, okay, that's my slideshow for TwitchCon. I'll go over that later. Here's the crease pattern, by the way, for the model I just showed that I'm working on, the long swordsman. I've added a little bit of changes to reflect what I've been doing with the helmet and the hand structure, which is kind of weird. And yeah, it's I think actually I think this is missing one. I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that doesn't look right. I think it's this. It's this. I've changed the river meander a little bit to make it to distribute the layers down to here, to this area. I guess technically it's like I don't even know how to draw the river for this, for the meander, but just imagine this is a big river meander, I guess. Cool. We need Discord. Let me go to here. We'll just take a look at Hall of Fame. I think there's a few in here that we need to see. Okay, we'll just go to Starboard. Some weird stuff happened in Hall of Fame. But yeah. Let's see, some people in chat. Wonka, what you've been folding, man? You do quite a lot of folding. It's really cool to see. Or anyone else in chat, what have you guys been doing? What's your next projects? I know a lot of people are waiting for the Square Twist Samurai tutorial. So if that's you, let me know if that's what you're making next. Discord. Okay, here we go. We're in Starboard. Let's start here. Okay, this I think is... Okay, we started here last time. This is for Kimiro. Made a wheel. Okay, I think we're going to see the thing that this belongs to later. Simple Night and Shade. Oh, cool. So I think this is from 8-Grid. This is the 8-Grid simple design. Mr. Zaz. This is really cute. This reminds me of that game Hollow Knight. A little bit. Wow, this is a small tessellation. That is. But still folded very nicely. Wow, another one. That's crazy. This is from Najin, Qatar. Pascal, dude, Pascal's been killing it. I love this. This is a forest road. Isn't that cool? Using just the color change for trees and then in perspective with a mountain. A genius, dude. Pascal's so cool. Faraz is a loco for a sponsored food event. Nice. Faraz is really good at those. Kinoko, this is snake or cobra. I'm wondering, I think this is the guy from Singapore's design, Ronald Koh, maybe. Here we have a Western Dragon by Shikado with some extra stuff added to it. Like, kind of getting a scale pattern. Very nice. Mark is folding again. Not sure when I'll be finishing my new model, but it'll be quite simple. Ooh, that's a little different, Mark. A simple design. Mas Issa, my next project is design a Samurai version 2. Nice. Footnology, I prefer rolls. Stab just finished. Ancient Dragon 2.0 and Head Empty 1 and 2. Working on DPA set so I can do STS as well. Nice, nice. You're prepping yourself well. If you folded all those, you'll be definitely ready for the Square Twist Samurai. Folding Aussie wildlife currently. Hey, that's really cool. Australia has some neat wildlife. What's on that list, Peter? There's quite a lot of things that are very interesting probably to fold. From like huntsman spider, there's like kangaroos, emu, right? Whole bunch of snakes. Okay, here we go. This is Kimiro's Maharaga. With this, I summon Maharaga or whatever. This treasure. With this treasure, I summon. This is a JJK reference. Very neat. So the Maharaga itself is 1 square. The wheel, obviously, we saw is separate, but that's fine. What's really interesting with this is the definition that Kimiro added in the abs. Right, a lot of times abs are flat. People just do level shifters and flatten them. And like, sure, it works, but it's kind of old tech, right? And then in shaping, it doesn't look super good. I guess in the past it might have looked good, but our standards are getting higher and higher. So for 2024 standards, right, something like this is more aesthetic, really having the definition of in 3-dimensionality that Kimiro adds, so you can see with the shadows, right? So these are still just like flaps, but it's just like valley folded down so that it creates a shadow underneath each ab shape. Genius, right? Crazy. I think this approach was deemed less efficient in the past of trying to make these individual flaps, but hey, this works better than before. So once again, in terms of efficiency, you can escape that a little bit if you have a good use for it. So really nicely designed. Kimiro shapes really, really well. Most of his designs do not have any crazy off-grid kind of structures or anything. It's just, you know, box pleat design and good shaping. So really neat. India in flat form, very nice. A zinc plant. He had a owl that had a turning head. It's really cute, really cool. And I think it's hex pleated. So plus points. This is cool. I like this for us. This is a baby. Really neat. Got a bird from Bodo, little bird. Centaur by Yute Young. Arrow and bow are separate sheet. It looks really nice though. This is really cool. Another Kimiro Rift Scuttler. If you guys play League of Legends. Any League players in here? Scuttle Crab. Any TFT players? We have Scuttle Crab and TFT as well. I play TFT. This is really cute. I really like this. Echidna, Kangaroo, Tree Frog, Shiny Cockatoo. Oh, that's a good list. That's gonna be fun, Wonka. I'm excited to see those folds. Mark, also be folding to STS to have one ready when the tutorial comes out. Nice, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to fold STS again. It's been, what, 2 years now? Maybe a year and a half. Yeah, it should be pretty fun. I'm also really excited to shape the STS because that's, for me, that's the fun part. It's just like rendering it out because there's so many details to work on. It's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a long tutorial, guys. It's gonna be crazy. The first video is probably just gonna be pre-creasing, which is great. But I think it's important to tell people what to pre-crease and what not to pre-crease. It'll save time and take time. But yeah, very nice, very nice. Yeah, this Scuttle Crab is really, really cool. And I like this last photo of it just in 10A. That works so well. Gandalf by Schwazel, folded by Quartz. Very nice. We'll just do a couple more. See, we got Matt Laboon, cabbage paper. So his own lizard design with cabbage paper. The best origami paper currently being made, by the way. Cabbage paper. Variety of colors. Absolutely lovely. These are beautiful, naturally pigmented cabbage papers. And we have Steve DC. This is awesome. Forced friend from the game Gris, designed by Dominique Cazus. Very neat. It's a little box head guy. He's got eyes and a little plant coming out, I'm guessing. I like this kind of stuff. Eyes obvious, as you can see, like head empty. It's always really cute. Very nice. All right, and then Eduardo, baby lobster. Sweet. Let's end there so we don't spend too much time just staring at origami, which, you know, no one can really complain. I enjoy staring at origami. I think it's totally fine. But we are off to the main topic for today. So let's close this here. Let's go to here and talk about TwitchCon. Because I'm going to have stuff to talk about. Actually, let me set up this again so we can see this. And then let's change the window capture to this to get ready. I meant to be a little bit more prepared for how I wanted to present what I'm going to talk about, but it is what it is. It's going to be a little jank, but that's okay. All right. Shaping is fun, but it takes time. Yeah, it takes a lot of time, which is good. Take time in shaping. The thing I've been working on, right? The longsword. I've had this base folded. You know, I did it in like one day. I've been shaping it for the past 3 days. And we still have a lot of work to do. But for me, that's the fun part. I don't need a completed model all the time to be done quickly. Like look at the legs, man. I think I'm doing a pretty good job at these legs. Nice and round. They have a defined knee. They have an ankle. You know, maybe it is a little bit weird like here, but at least it's cool looking. So yeah, it's fun. It's really fun to take time for shaping. Mark, just the packaging is already kind of epic. Sick. All right. So I have notes for what I want to talk about at TwitchCon, and feel free, like as I'm yapping, as they say, if you have questions, just feel free to ask. This is a little bit different topic, I think, than I would normally talk about. But yeah, I think depending on how this goes, I will make this a YouTube video. So let me actually, do I try to record this or should I just grab the stream later? Do I just download the whole stream? Okay, hopefully this doesn't break my computer. We're going to try to just record and see how that goes. Okay, so TwitchCon. So yeah, I think I'm gonna make this video into something like what it's like to go to TwitchCon, or I'm trying to debate a little bit, like going to TwitchCon alone, or origami folder goes to TwitchCon alone. What it's like for an origami folder to go to TwitchCon alone, going to TwitchCon alone as an origami artist, so something along those kinds of lines. But just kind of describing, like, I think when I went there, there's so many people, it's so big, and it's a mix of people who, you know, enjoy creators, and then the other end, which is maybe even more people, of people who are trying to be creators, or just creative people in general. Now, TwitchCon, if you guys don't know, is a convention specifically for the live streaming platform of Twitch. Kind of seems a little obvious, but that's what it is for, which is great. Twitch is the leading live stream platform. But you might be watching me from YouTube. So you're like, hey, boys, how does that work? So yeah, I don't have really the status I have on Twitch as I do on YouTube. On YouTube, I'm YouTube partnered. On TikTok, I'm TikTok partnered. Instagram business and creative accounts. Twitch, I'm only an affiliate because I don't really do much there. So I don't have a partnership. Much smaller. But I still went anyways. Affiliate status is like not really anything, but it shows that I just stream. And what's cool is that your little badge will tell people like, oh, what do you do? What's your name? And then it's got a QR code for your stream. Let me show you really quick what it looks like. All right, TwitchCon 2024. Here's my badge, right? You see Origami by Voice, affiliate status, QR code to link to my page. And then what's fun is the people you meet, you can have them sign your tag. So this will be part of stuff I talk a little bit later, but you can be a total fanboy and get your favorite streamers to sign it. But yes, so I think TwitchCon as an event is really cool. I also help or have been helping plan the Origami USA convention. So I also wanted to see, what does a convention look like in a grander scale than what origami conventions are. Because even though Origami USA convention is like one of the largest origami events in the world, it's relatively small compared to TwitchCon, right? At Origami USA, we have up to 500 to 600 signups, probably maybe more around 500 nowadays, or a little bit less. TwitchCon, there's like 20 to 30,000, right? So the scaling is completely different. Yeah, it's crazy. So there's a lot of things that I wanted to learn going in, but we can even start a little bit before, what brought me here in the first place. And part of that was a goal that I've had to expand my origami reach outside of origami. So over the past couple of years, I've been building up my origami channel, which a lot of you have noticed. And I've kind of been working my way up the American origami system, I'd say, or Origami USA, right? I was kind of networking in the Origami USA space. And, now I'm in leadership. I help run the exhibition. I'm very close to like the top rungs. I know Robert Lang. I know Wendy. I work with them. I know Eric Ma. I help plan stuff. So I feel like I've started to reach the top in the cap of that space, and I want to also bring in non-folders to my community. So you might have seen, right, a lot of these Honkai Star Rail stuff over the past few months. And that was kind of start of it. So Honkai Star Rail, Bailu, Honkai Star Rail, Sam. And why? Why Honkai Star Rail? Part of this is something I might actually mention tomorrow, which I'm doing I forgot to advertise that. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing a interview with CFC, that's the Center for Creators, about my origami journey, how I may or may not do origami professionally, or some of the business strategies I take, and how I integrate my hobbies into my art. But I think the analogy I'm going to kind of cover is taking the strategy of, hey, if you look at the car Rolls Royce, right? They're like $400,000. Pretty much nobody can afford that, right? They don't advertise on TV. They go to like shows for private jets to advertise their cars. Why do they do that? Because like probably 0.001% of the people watching TV are the people that can actually afford a Rolls Royce. However, like probably at least 60% of the people at a private jet show are the people who are buying private jets, which means a $400,000 Rolls Royce is nothing to them. So it's they're catering their audience directly for the market they're going to. And I've been starting to sell models. As you know, they're kind of expensive, or very, very, I think they're very expensive. They're overpriced. Like I would not buy my own model, but that's the value I want to set it as, to show that origami has value as an art. So if I want to sell it to people, it's got to be the right audience. Part of the audiences are galleries and fine art, but that's very hard. So next step is, hey, I can pick a video game where it's very common for people to spend thousands of dollars for their favorite character in game. So outside of the game, $1,000 origami model might not be that much in retrospect. Right. Spot, thank you, man. He said, proud of you boys, it helps us out. That's true. The other thing is origami selling origami models isn't too, I won't say it's new, but it's newer. You know, people like in Eric Trozel's age, Robert Lang's age, they've been doing it for a while. But with the expanse of the internet and media, I think there needs to be a new wave of sold models. And every model sold, whether it's by me or by someone else, done ethically, is a win for origami, right? It continues to set the value of the art higher and higher and takes it away from being just a craft. So I think it's very important that we try to do this sort of stuff. A lot of times we can't sell inside of our lane because us origami folders generally are not that, well off, but we can look at other places where there's more chance for the people out there to spend the money because they really like it. And that's the best owner of an origami piece is someone who really likes it and can pay for it. So that's kind of strategy for Honkai Star Rail. The other thing is I played a game. I like the game. I only design and fold stuff nowadays that I want to do. I know you might see some of my videos. I ask people, hey, what should I make? What would be cool if I made this? A lot of people give me tons of recommendations based on things they like, which is totally cool, but I will only fold the things that I want to fold. I can't fold everyone's favorites if it's not my own favorite. But if it's something I like, that's what I'll do. Smart marketing, yeah. So if you guys ever want to start selling your models, which again, tune into tomorrow because I'll tell a story on how I started selling models. And I think that sort of journey can be done very easily without having to do anything too special. So you can kind of replicate that process. But in terms of finding your audience, I think that's very important to think of early. And if finding new audiences, just let me experiment and try and fail, and I'll report back to you what works and what doesn't work. But at least with Honkai Star Rail, the other thing paired with it in my lane is social media, such as YouTube, Twitch. The game, it was like the best mobile game of last year. There's a bunch of YouTube and Twitch streamers creating content because that sort of game, it's kind of strategy based. So looking up guides is a kind of common practice for people who just like the game. So it's an immediate connection of YouTube to the game. And then for me, I'm like, that's where I'm going to try to, get myself into, is fitting myself into the space of the creators to showcase my work. So you might have seen the Mr. Pokey stuff. That was in March when I first reached out. I kind of needed a new home for Kafka. And then he also requested a Tingyan. That was really great. Brought some new people in. It brought me more into that community too, just kind of scoping the lane. And then later on I did Sam, and then that was supposed to be a collaboration. It kind of fell through, but I got it in front of like 15,000 new eyes from across the other streamers. So it's not really a collaboration, but at least they reviewed it. And then this last thing started with this, and I'm going to show the clip if this works. And then let's see if you guys can hear this. And if you've seen the short, you know what I'm talking about already. But okay, let me know if you guys can hear this. I'm gonna play the clip after it shares, and if you can't hear it, then I'll just play it again. Streamlabs. Capture media player. Ooh, there you go. All right, have a watch. This is some Inception right here.
Make a buy for box too. He'll greatly appreciate it. Genuinely, make a buy for box too.
All right, could you guys hear that? I don't know. Jonathan, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. What am I designing? I'm actually just talking about my recap to TwitchCon really quick. But I am designing, or I'm working on a new design, which I'll show in a little bit. But let me know if you guys can hear that. But yeah, so this was from a live stream. Mr. Pokey, he's got, you can see there's, 3,000 subscribers, 71,000 followers on Twitch. And I think live there's like 2,000 something or more live people at the time. watching him review this and him telling me, hey, my friend streamer Box2, just make a Bailu for him. And there's some nuance in that. It's in the game, it's kind of a meme to get that character, but I thought it'd be really funny. So I made that, right? We saw the, let me go to the slideshow, right? Where is it? So that's the streamer. There's me with Mr. Pokey. And then, right, so Mr. Pokey gave me this Bailu pin. I gave a Origami Bailu to Box2. Kind of a fun little trade-off at the event. But yeah, man, okay, I forgot. I meant to show these pictures earlier. This is the Bailu is like in a nice box. This is very related to the theme of the game, so it's like a whole experience. That's some of the streamers. But yeah, so there's like a whole thing. And then I think that the TLDR of what I was trying is, can I enter this, space of Honkai Star Rail creators? And the culmination of this whole effort was kind of TwitchCon, where I can meet them in person. And what is the payoff for it? So this was my 3-month plan since March, working up to this. Did it work? What do y'all think? Let me rechat a little bit. Spot. Grown-up Price gives origami as an art form stature in the art world. That's true. Unfortunately, we live in a money-based society, right? So that's how it works. Foot knowledge, any paper rolls I don't have to order. Sorry for asking a lot. Hey, man, we gave you all the resources. You kind of just have to go find it yourself. I have no idea where you live. Don't tell me where you live. But you look around for some of those stores and see if you can get them. But it's not too hard. Trust me. You can do it. Como, hello. Someone saw your work at Paper Tree, asked if I do commissioned work. If you do I have a price range minimum? That's a good question. For custom designs, I normally start at 3,000, and it kind of depends on the difficulty, I should say, or complexity of work that they're looking for. So yeah, I do commission work. I do sponsored work, and the price is a little high. The minimum is a little bit high. Mostly because that's the value of of my time at this point if I need to add a project. But they can contact me, voice@obb.design, and we can have a chat. Thanks, Como. That's fun. By the way, guys, I mentioned it earlier in the stream. Paper Tree, go check it out. Blick. Yeah, Blick. Just go to Blick. If you have a Blick, you'll find stuff. And again, you're kind of asking for the wrong things. If you're trying to get a roll of paper because it's easy to cut a square out of, but you want mulberry, you have to treat mulberry, man. You can't cut a square from the roll and treat the mulberry and expect it to be a square. You're going to have to cut it again. So just figure out the process, watch the tutorials I've made. It's really not that hard. With a little bit of practice, you can do it. Okay, back to the question I asked. Did it work? And I would say no. No, it did not work at all. So my effort in getting into the space did not work. I think it's nice. I've had a lot of fresh eyes view the work, more than I probably could have garnered alone. But I definitely was not able to enter the space. I think, these people are great. They're in their own lanes. I respect them as creators. But I am not a creator in their eyes. I'm not in their space. So it's still very difficult, I would say, to actually get more collaboration between origami and a streamer. Even though the original pitch, I proposed it as a collaboration, and I do have the following on YouTube and other spaces to kind of match up. They kind of just still see me as a viewer, which is totally fine. And it's like a fan interaction or a viewer interaction, less so than a creator to creator collaboration. So I think that's just, that's fine. that's what I expected a little bit. And it's just not the same as doing their space full time, which is also, to be expected. But it was cool, so it's like not a complete loss. It's not like a complete failure, but it's not the same expectation that I had going in with this type of goal. So that's okay, I would say. And I've kind of made plans to switch gears. And that comes to some of the learning that I got, not just from like this interaction. This was a very small part of my TwitchCon experience. But what's nice at TwitchCon, they also hold panels with other Twitch partners and creators you can meet, just sharing advice on some of the things. And I think one of the big takeaways I had was look at the lanes I'm strong in. What's the things I'm currently really good at that's working for me, and push those harder. So I don't always have to move lanes. You know, if I move in too many different lanes, it's just hard in general. And like low key, like, and these people will say it too. Obviously you have to work hard, but 90% of it is luck to find success in certain alleys. So if I've already found success in mine, still push mine really hard, cause that's what I'm good at. And something of those sorts that also brings non-origami folders in is like short form content. You know, I've been very good at short form content. When I was being sponsored by TikTok, right, that was my biggest platform. Very quickly, it was the first place I ever got 1 million plus views, 3 million views on a video. I guess, you know, I would say partially it's luck, but I've been able to replicate it many times. And even recently, I've had a few videos go to 1 million views, go to 100 to 500,000, 800,000, you know, on repeat. So at this point, it's a little bit of luck, but I studied short form content a lot. I'm pretty good at making it. I should keep doing that. You know, don't worry too much about trying to have these stretch goals of working with bigger creators in different spaces, even if it's cool. So I think that's the direction I'm going to take for the rest of the year in terms of collaboration. There is still some collaboration I have in progress, and that's more so with friends. Like I'm already friends with them, so it's a little bit different. These are more people I didn't know that I wanted to kind of get into that space. But yeah, it should be interesting. You're probably going to see more short form content from me in addition to the tutorials. So I'm kind of still going to prioritize, you know, the regular videos, but I'm also having a high prioritization on that short form content. Should be fun. But I'm not quite giving up on other collaborations yet. So another game company at TwitchCon was Capcom. If you guys know Capcom, they make a ton of games like I think Mega Man, what's another Street Fighter, tons of different games. And my favorite, Monster Hunters. And Monster Hunters, right? A lot of my dragons, a lot of my armors, the Dragon Plate Armor Assassins, those are very inspired by Monster Hunter related characters and weapons and creatures. So the creator program people were at TwitchCon. They had a booth, and I talked to them. I got some insight about joining the creator program, so I applied. We'll see where that takes us. I don't know if I'll get in, but if I get in and can get sponsored Monster Hunter content out, that would be probably around January 2025. The game comes out in February. That'd be really cool. Also, it would probably mean in February that I would be playing the game, maybe in a video or on live. So we'll see how content works there, but if I join that, that'd be really cool. So that's kind of my next goal if I get in. So I'm Realms. Why is double tissue so hard to make? Is there a way to make it without wrinkles? Have you watched my ultimate paper guide? Because I show exactly how to make double tissue easier and without wrinkles. Or I should say with less wrinkles. You know, it just takes practice to make it without wrinkles, but to get less wrinkles, it's very easy. What am I drinking? I am drinking coffee. Takes practice. Yeah, mainly just takes practice. But you can listen to all my advice and all the tips and tricks I've found to make double tissue easier. So go check out that video. Very useful. All right, more things I learned at TwitchCon. That's kind of like my next direction, I should say, for content. But yeah, I think at least the last point I wanted to make in that space is being at TwitchCon, the vibe was very interesting because it's cool to be around so many people that want to do something creative like art or content. Maybe more so than as a hobby. And it's one thing to be around those people, but then to also be around people who've made it. So not just people who want to do that, but people who've actually succeeded. Because there's a huge difference in a person's journey between trying it for fun and wanting it really passionately versus people who are actually doing it. So I think because there's people who are actually doing it, you can get a lot of good advice. And I certainly got a lot of good advice. Another thing I learned is, I'm still small. On YouTube, we have a decent following. I think 90 was the statistic. 90% of people who live stream only have between 0 and 1 viewer. Hey, there's 16 of you guys right now. That's lit. I'm already past that. But yeah, I'm still small. I do my own conventions in my own lane with Origami. And I would say I interact with fans a lot differently than other creators do. I kind of was people watching. I watched a lot of people, going up to meet and greets, meeting other creators they really like. And yeah, I they give them the time of day, which is nice, but I think I interact with my fans a lot more personable. I'm more willing to help and provide, mostly because Origami is just a smaller space. It's a little bit easier to do that. And I like that about myself. I think I'm going to keep doing that. So, hey, if you ever see me in person at a convention, come up, show me what you're folding, ask me questions, see what I'm up to. I normally have things I'm giving away. It's all really fun. I think that helps grow community a lot. And then, yeah, strengthening my lane and approaching sponsors in terms of showing what I've done in the Origami community and keep making short form content and videos and tutorials and stuff like that. So that should be pretty fun. Okay, so yeah, next. Other things at TwitchCon. It was also a space for me to have some fun for myself. So yeah, I was there alone. So I had to be very social, It kind of took me back to the days of my first Origami convention where I kind of didn't really know anyone either. I just kind of showed up and took a look at some stuff. And it's kind of fun to be in that position and then try to act on it. So it's probably doesn't sound fun for a lot of people in terms of like social anxiety, but I think the way I kind of developed myself is I know I have that social anxiety, but I know I can surpass it if I just talk to people or do stuff and try to be, have some courage to not hide and just stay in the back. So I did a lot of talking to both creators. I hopped in some people's streams. Let me show another clip really quick. I think it's pretty funny. So this was, let's pop this up. All right, so this you also might have seen a little bit if you've seen my short. Context on this creator, her name's Fillion. She's a VTuber. So there's a person wearing like motion tracking stuff, and I found her from my YouTube feed doing flips. And if you know, I also have a hobby of doing flips. In fact, if you don't know, the flips I do, recently did a new combination. Let me show you guys. If you can see it. Okay, so that is, I'm doing a setup for a flip. I'm taking off of one foot with a swing, and it's a backflip 360. I land on the same foot again and do another one. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff I do. It's really fun. I saw this person streaming there. And I was like, hey, let me do a flip on stream. I don't think anyone's done a flip on stream for them before. So
Yeah. Okay. Bet. Yeah. Good.
All right, I got you. Okay, ready?
All right, chat. Watch.
3, 2, 1.
He actually just did a front flip. He did it.
all right, so yeah, I had fun. Right? Yeah, that was really funny. And then I think there's like 5,000 people watching that stream. So I think after that, I plugged myself just a little bit. I'm like, hey, I'm Origami by Boyce. I make and design super complex origami. Thanks for having me here. Networking is a skill. Yeah, it definitely is. And I think to be in that position of just being alone and still being able to network, like the whole weekend was basically a practice for me. Networking with streamers, networking with games and potential sponsors, and then also just networking with a bunch of brands. And that takes me to the next area is at TwitchCon, there's an expo hall of a ton of brands. It's like gaming computer brands, streaming gear brands. Like some people that were there was like Fractal. They make computer cases and gear. They're very aesthetic. There's Shure or Roland, like that's the audio. They do microphones and sound solutions. Elgato, that's the big streaming one. They make capture cards, a whole bunch of stuff. And then I was interested in some of the smaller ones. So something cool I found there. Check out this light. So this is a light. It looks and is in the form factor of a tube light, and right now it is backlighting my head. So out of frame, it's a little bit bright when it's on stream, but out of frame, it's giving the back of my head a little bit of light so that it doesn't blend too much into my background. But maybe we can have it here for now. It's actually an inflatable. It's an inflatable diffused tube light. So I can deflate it and roll it up into like a small bag that it comes with, a travel size bag, and like bring it to a convention with me. So if you saw my convention exhibition stuff, you'll know I kind of brought my own lights. This is the better version of that because it's way more portable. It's actually diffused. So it's not like a regular material. It's a diffuser inside of the material. So it's soft. It's a soft light, right? So that's why it works on camera. It's not destroying the lighting environment. And so, yeah, I'm kind of testing that out in my own gear areas. I can use it for my photography. When I photograph models, I can use it on stream, backlighting. I can use it as ambient light. That's pretty fun, but talk to the people there. If I really like the product, I might be able to do like an affiliate thing with the company. But that's a really cool lighting solution I haven't seen that kind of been looking forward. But other than them, there's some other brands that do more professional lighting. And I talked to the sales guy there, right? Those marketing people are kind of there to sell to both viewers and streamers. And that's an easy place to do some networking because they want to talk to you to sell you stuff. And then in turn, it gives me opportunity to show them what I'm about and, maybe start that connection. There might not be any sponsorship or partnership tied at the moment, but if they can remember my name and the interaction because of how cool the origami I show them is, that's the starting step. So I did that with a couple brands. I talked with some people there. There's a guy, his name's Jet. He was super helpful at one of these places where I showed him that, hey, I use these monitor stands, but they have a better solution. So it's not out yet. It's their prototype. I got to see it. The dude was so helpful, but I'm going to maybe ask like, hey, I really like that product. I can showcase it. I think it's really valuable. Let's see if we can do a partnership or sponsorship for a video or something like that. And that's like easy locked in. Like after TwitchCon, I also immediately reached out and followed up in social media, and was like, hey, I remember you. Thanks for taking your time. This is me. This is my account. Blah, blah, blah. So yeah, tons of networking. Creators, brands, games. That's like my entire weekend, basically. But hopefully some cool stuff will come from it. You know, probably not a crazy amount, but you might see some fruition, and I'll update you guys if anything like that happens. But also more cool solutions. Getting some of this gear is also a long-term project of a video I want to make, which is if you guys want to make origami YouTube videos too, what's the cheapest and best gear to buy? You know, because I've got way too much. There was nobody when I started to tell me how to do stuff. So I had to figure it all on my own. But now that I figured it all on my own, I'm going to tell you guys how to do it too. Because I don't want to be the type of person who hides all the secrets. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm going to read chat for a little bit. I kind of went off talking for a while. Mark, if you treat paper cutting in a square, it'll deform. Yes, that's very true. Looks like a lot of people are letting you know. It's good stuff. Realms. Let's see. If you have questions, I did see tutorials, but I keep fumbling. Try smaller pieces then. Practice a little bit more. Use less water. Yeah, be a little bit more careful. You use your hands if the brush is tearing. Let it dry. Warps. If it's warping because it's lifting, then maybe change the surface you're treating on, or use more glue. If it's not like that. I do all the steps in Voice's tutorial, but it warps like crazy. If it's probably your surface needs to be scuffed a little bit. So, you know, maybe take some sandpaper. If you're using a cutting mat, Realms, the one I mentioned in the video, then you need, it might have like an anti-stick coating. You want to try to scrub it off a little bit so your paper sticks more. And if not, then what you can do is once it's half dry, you can lift the paper and then lay it flat again. And then it'll be more the suction that helps stick it and not cause it to warp. But yeah, otherwise you can just add glue. That works too. Gavin, hello. Thanks for joining the stream. Let's see. How do death battles work? Hop into Discord and see, but it's basically just a battle. You sign up, you get a topic and a battle person you're battling against in a big bracket, and whoever, you know, you finish the thing, it gets voted on, you win or lose. You keep going. Next one will probably be sometime next year, but there'll be more details in the Discord. Tried that. Did I add more PVA? Yeah, probably add more PVA. Can I ask you how to fold a triangle grid? I don't think I want to show it right now. Okay, maybe I'll show it right now. I'll show you how to start it. Because it's very easy. All right. You take a square. You fold it in half. And a triangle grid is like, you can fold these too. Right? You can fold a grid in one direction, and then you just need opposing 60-degree angles to make it a triangle grid. Right? So then with a square, I think you can just do this. You do from the corner to the center line. Right? And I think this is 60 degree. And then now you just use that references. In your next division. So like now I need it going this way. So I just do this. And you see how the crease lines up? From the first one. and lo and behold, there's a triangle. So that's how you start. It's literally you just fold in half, you fold that way, and then you do the rest of it. Super easy. Oh, Mark has a tutorial. There you go. Thanks, Mark, for the link. Cutting mat. Yeah, so for the cutting mat, you have to scuff the mat. And the two ways I've done it is either you let MC just straight up dry on the mat and it'll add like a stick layer, or again, you can just grab like a rough sponge or like some sandpaper and just scuff the cutting mat. Yeah, glass works too. Glass is easier. You run the risk of the paper sticking to the glass itself. But yeah, either way, it's you find what works basically. But the cutting mat will work. You just need to scuff it a bit. Yeah, shower door window, that works too. Triangle grid tutorial. I have a glass table, might try that. Yeah, it should be a lot easier. Use less PVA when you do the glass table because the tissue might stick. They will think of you as their network connection to the new market. They'll always scout. Exactly. They'll always scout new markets. And then, especially in that approach, like what I did is I took the first 2 days to learn at TwitchCon. So I went to as many of the networking like talks and guides and sponsorship talks at TwitchCon that I could. And then Sunday I made my pitches to all the companies and making pitches. So this is the next part, like learning. If you guys are going to do this, what should you make for yourself? You know, how do you actually pitch yourself to a company? Because you can't just go up to anyone and say, hey, I make origami. Hey, I make content. Let's do stuff, right? It's got to be a little bit more strategic than that because it's a two-way street. They're not just going to pay anyone to market their product. So what I learned a lot of brands are looking for is not just like a set number, not just hitting a number once, but growth. So can you show, like, say in the past 3 months, basically if I was going to go up to you, if you were a brand, I'm like, hey, I'm Boyce. I'm a growing creator. In the past 3 months, I've gone from, 100,000 to 500,000 views. That's one way to show analytics. Like that's probably the best way to show your analytics. It's not just say, hey, I'm Boyce. I have 20,000 subscribers. Like that doesn't mean too much. I'm saying like I've grown my audience from 100,000 people a month to 200,000 people a month. Something like that comes off a lot stronger. And so that's just the analytic part. And then like the next part is either like a media kit. So like what do I do? So I can showcase my work, but when showcasing my work, it also needs to show a little bit of what do I want to do with them. So if it was, say, for a game, I could show my Honkai Star Rail stuff. Again, see, the experiment didn't work, but I still have the content as a library to use. I'd be like, I have been, working with creators for video games, making origami like this. I show them the video. This is, art that many people have never seen before. And this audience I'm showing it to will line up with yours. So if it's like when I was approaching Monster Hunter to apply for the creator program, I put the line in that, hey, I make super complex origami and I specialize in dragons and knights. The origami, like the most famous figure in origami is a dragon. And that's why Monster Hunters is the best game to pair with my audience to do a partnership. They will absolutely love it. So I'm building that bridge and telling them not just what I do, but like how what I do actually matches with their audience as well. And then the last part is like show that like if I were to be partnered with them, what is some of my goals? What do I want to make? So that'd be like, with our partnership, I would love to make a video of me designing a flagship monster in origami and then demonstrating the gameplay to my viewers. Something along the lines of that. It can probably be a little bit more fleshed out, but it's like very strategic in that 1 minute pitch you have on what to see. So it's like who are you initially? Like, what's your name? Super quick intro. But then, why should I care? That's the analytics. You pitched analytics, and they care about growth. So you mentioned the growth in your analytics, not just a number. And then, little background, show what I actually do, show my art. But how does my audience for my art match their audience? And then last part, what is my goals if I run that program? And then you basically say, like, you almost treat it as if you're already in, but like you're saying, you don't want to be like, oh, I hope I can work with you. Because that's, it's like, I'll make a video, I'll make a short, I'll make a live stream, I'll play the game, I'll make a creature. People are going to love it. More concrete kind of examples. So I took all that learning. I did that to, like 5 different brands. We'll see if it works. Right? But if anything, it's kind of just practice. And then it's a good template for me to create for myself as I approach other sponsors. So I got to practice it live with me in person talking. Going to sponsors online socially is a little easier. I can plan and copy and paste a document, right? I can make a really nice slide deck. That's probably just gonna be one slide, so it's very quick to look at. But I think it was important for me to just try to speak it out loud too, because I haven't really done that in a long time. But yeah, hopefully that's useful for some of you to hear if you're interested in content creation, or just like are interested in like, hey, how does Boyce start making money from origami? What does he actually do? What is the strategies behind some of the content? It's a lot of strategy. MC's watery. Yeah, make that MC super thick, man. Super thick. How do I import BP Studio files into Origami Simulator? I do not know. I haven't really, I'm the biggest donor to BP Studio, and I haven't really used it at all. But Origami Simulator takes SVG files, right? So if you have a flat folding crease pattern, which I'm not sure what BP Studio exports in, but whatever it is, whatever the crease pattern is, you can convert it to an SVG, scalable vector graphic, and then import that to Origami Simulator, and something like Ori Edita should be able to convert that file for you. Jonathan, I use a table, but it sticks like crazy. Oh, so Jonathan has the opposite problem. His sticks too much. Yeah, it's you find a balance of what you kind of have around you. For me, it's the cutting mats work. I do have a mirror as well, so like sometimes I'll do double tissues on there if I need to be a little bit more delicate. Gavin, yeah, head to the Discord. The BP Studio has a Discord, I think. Nathan, hello, welcome back. How do I join? I wish you success in all your projects. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, boys. Cool. I don't know the BP Studio. Maybe it's on their website. If their Discord link, I'm not sure. Coffee's good. All right. I think we're almost done with the TwitchCon recap. Let me see if I have anything else I want to show or talk about. Okay. Last kind of thing. So I forget where this note came from, but yeah, I took a bunch of notes. But what I wrote here is what are my thoughts on my future audience? So right, currently have my current audience, which is mostly you guys, complex people interested in complex origami, people interested in folding my tutorials. But thinking forward, future audience, how can I entertain a future audience? What do I need to do? And I kind of mentioned already, hey, I should strengthen the lane I'm in. One of the ways I can both do a future audience with the lane I'm in is increasing my commitment to origami competitions, because people are interested in that. People keep asking me, when's the next OBB competition? People keep asking me, when's the next IOIO, or how do I sign up for IOIO? Which, again, I'm not in charge of IOIO, but I got second place. Competitions are hard. So if I want to invest in competitions more, I think I have to say no to some other things or drop responsibility in some other things. So I might be contributing less in the future to origami conventions. I don't think my direct contribution is going to change the way they work to change how I think they should be done. I think they're doing okay, and I think they'll be doing okay without me. Obviously, I'll be supporting them. I just won't be planning as much. I think if I remove that component from my life, I'll have the bandwidth to invest more in origami competition. What do you guys think? Do you guys like origami competitions? Even if you don't like to participate, do you think it's interesting to watch? And maybe one of those ways, which I've been thinking about a lot, is I know the IOIO is very hard to organize and very hard to plan, which is why it hasn't been put on since 2021. That's 3 years. And within those 3 years, I started the OBB competition at a super small scale and a different paradigm as a paid competition. And I grew it to, generating over $1,000 to distribute back to origami creators. Which is not that much, but it's not bad. So, if I took over IOIO, ran that myself, but ran it with a more sustainable model that I've created with the OBB competition, could I put it on every year? I don't know. I think I need to build a team and get a lot more details for it, but that might be an avenue that I'd rather put my bandwidth and my efforts and investment in than trying to improve or grow origami conventions. Because I think it's too hard. I don't think I can, by myself, I don't have that kind of power to adjust how origami conventions are run, nor do I necessarily have the desire to do that. But I really like origami conventions, origami competitions. I think it's one of the best places to grow in personal skill for people, and at the same time provide a lot of entertainment to people looking in to origami. So that's an idea. We'll see if that goes through, but I think that's where I'm going to end what I learned from TwitchCon and the direction that it's brought me. Yeah. Como says, someone posted this Discord invite link in YouTube chat a couple weeks ago and it worked. Nice. I think that should be good. I think, is that what Mark put? Or maybe, I might need to open up the Discord link again. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do this. Tissue bleeds too much, bleeds on the mat, paint roller, bleeds to the, yeah, okay, we might just need to try a different tissue brand. How do I, oh, there you go. Never knew it existed. Gavin, you have to become a channel. Oh, yeah, so that's for the, that's the members Discord. There is the Origami Dan Discord, which is technically mine too, so. The OBB Olympics. Yeah, wouldn't it be crazy? I would definitely have to change the name from... So I don't think... As an American, I am probably going to get sued if I say Origami Olympics. So I probably have to change the name to something like Origami World Championship. Something that's still a marketable name that people not in origami would understand. But Olympics are scary, man. That I don't want to mess with the Olympic board, get sued. What's a general take on getting origami into school curriculum? Seems like a good way to build future audiences. Some money doing origami, but how is it done? So I think it's been done more than you might realize. Still in small amounts because there's just not enough people to teach origami. But even in my state, there's a few people who run either in school or after school programs for kids. and that's their full-time gig. So like if I wanted to quit my day job right now and do origami full time, I think I could very easily do a school program, like really easily. But I don't want to do that because my focus is teaching people interested in complex origami. And that is not something that I expect elementary school or middle school people to do. Even people in high school and college struggle with this topic because they need the foundation first. So it's just that's not really where I would go. But I think it is done quite a bit. A lot of the full-time origami people I know are like do after school programs because that's great. And it's really good for kids. It's good to show origami, like traditional origami and simple stuff. The only academic, like licensed academic program I know of for complex origami is at UC Berkeley. So if you look at the convention I went to there, EBOC, they have this is just because of the way Berkeley works, is you can have a course for origami and they teach origami design. So it's still not nearly the level that I'm teaching stuff at, but it's intro to origami design, diagram making, some other stuff like that. And that's an actual college level course you can take. And that's really cool. But it's student led. And I haven't heard of another university that allows that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I think there is space for people to teach in schools and add it to schools. And I welcome people to do that. Probably not my thing though. But yeah, it would build a future audience. I'm just going to rely on the people who want to do that. Like, I think the saddest thing for me, if I were to jump ship right now and just do origami full time, would be to stop folding complex and only teach beginner level origami. And I think you guys would be sad too, right? If you look at origami across YouTube, how many people are teaching the tutorials I'm teaching? And how many people are teaching basic origami boat, basic easy origami fox, easy origami dog, right? There's so many you can find. A lot of them rip copyright too, which is crazy. If you look up easy origami, any word after that, you'll probably find some super simple, probably maybe use scissors, draw a smiley face, right? There's enough of that. There's so much of that. There's not many 9-hour origami samurai tutorial, 19-part video crease pattern class, 4-part ultimate paper guide for complex, or so I think I need to stay in the lane I'm in, because if I quit, who's next, right? Yeah, there's Joe Nakashima, and he does intermediate level, and that's like he's the biggest in the space for sure, but it's still not like, respectfully, this kind of stuff, right? It's his own stuff. And I at least fill the space, which there's less interest in, but I fill the space for the people who want to do this. Because when I wanted to do it, there was no one. But I very much welcome, like, if people want to do smaller level stuff, not smaller level, simpler level stuff because they enjoy it, definitely do that. But if you don't like to teach kids, or if you don't like to teach beginner level origami because you like to fold complex origami, you probably shouldn't be in a space where you have to only teach beginner level origami. It won't be very fun. Trust me. Gavin, I designed millipede. Nice, dude. I like the GBB. GBB as in German beatbox battles. Any cheap alternatives to Mulberry? Fold all my complex models. I think Mulberry is the cheapest to go, unless you can find something from like China that's cheaper. Mulberry is very cheap. Some mulberries are very cheap, but even easier, double tissue can fold every single one of my models if you make it large enough. I mean, even if you look at my case here, a lot of these are double tissue. Sword and Shield, double tissue. Head empty. It's basically double tissue. It's not double tissue, but you could do it with double tissue. Bunny Girl there. That tissue, that's double tissue. Crunchyroll Hime. Actually, that's mulberry. Just kidding. Alone, that's double tissue. Box heads are tissue foil, but that's fine. This could be done double tissue. This is double tissue. Yeah, double tissue is the universal cheapest option for complex origami. Oh, hey, nice meeting you at TwitchCon. I'm looking forward to seeing more of your future projects, Marion. PS Stream of Art. Hey, thank you. Yeah, great to meet you. Guys, also, I met some people who also stream at TwitchCon, of course. So, hey, thanks for tuning in, man. It's great to meet you. Yeah, I got a lot of projects. I don't know how long you were listening in, but I kind of did my whole recap of what I learned, what I took away, and what I will do from now on based on TwitchCon. But thanks for tuning in. Stream of Water, good stuff. Let's keep reading chat a little bit. Given how many young folders fold complex stuff at conventions, do you think level of young folders can improve in mass at some point? I think we've already seen a growth in young folders, and I don't, I partially attribute it to myself a little bit, at least in the American space. When I first went to when I went to the Origami USA convention for the first time, 2017, I did not see a single Ryujin. There was the only like crazy stuff was from the special guests and like Jason Koo, who was on the convention, like the famous people basically. But the average level of folds were not super high in terms of what we consider complex origami today. Like no one had a bunch of Kota models. Like the more complex stuff was actually the geometric and tessellated models that were on display. There was no human figurines. There was, some simpler insects. The level was, even in 2017, was very low. And then I think after I made my crease pattern class, I started to see more complex stuff come through. And then as the conventions have gone on, like if you look at after COVID, especially, I think COVID was like the turning point in terms of young people doing complex origami. Because now all the young people can fold crease patterns, or at least a lot of them can. A lot of them know how to make paper. A lot of them know how to fold in shape. And a lot of them have watched me and the plant psychologist tutorials. And so suddenly we see someone like Dex, who at 14 folded a Ryujin. And then 2 years later is designing super complex origami, right? This past convention, if you look at my exhibition section in the vlog I posted, you'll see people like Reza working on designs there. You'll see Neil folding my designs and starting on his own designs. You'll see a lot of young people. You look at the OBC submitted, there's a lot of human figurines. There's a lot of Kota insects. It's crazy. I think we've already leveled up, and we'll probably level up again more in the future. But there's already a great shift, I think. That's it. That's a great question. There's probably better out there. I use Hanji Roll from Amazon, LinkedIn Voices Store. It's been a year and a half and hasn't run out yet. Yeah, I think I still have some of that Hanji Roll too. I've used it quite a lot, and I still have a little bit more. More like Grand Beatbox Battle. Hey, that's funny because I do enjoy watching Grand Beatbox Battle. It's very cool. That's a rabbit hole I've gone down. Yeah, so IOIO like Grand Beatbox Battle. That'd be really interesting. I do like their format. I think it's really cool. So we're talking about like origami competitions, right? Maybe I shouldn't say too much yet. I do have plans to change the format so that it's not, okay. I think this is what I can say. Currently, it's like, the structure, right? It's a free event with creators donating diagrams and stuff to make up the competition. And then there's a panel of judges for all the different sections. So the last one had like 11 different models. And then there's certain judges to judge those 11 topics. But there was 900 people submitting, and in total, like 3,000 plus photos or more, probably more. that all the judges had to go through. So it's like, it's so hard for both the organizer to collect all that, for the participants to submit all that, and for the judges to actually judge thousands of submissions. From my judges, they have a hard enough time judging, like 50. Thousands are crazy. So I think there is a way to break up the competition so that you can have a grand final, kind of like the GBB, where either you do regionals or you do quarterly competitions to kind of filter the competition through. And then, you have the final one. And even though it might be like a paid competition, the profits for the competition don't have to come out of the participants' check. It's more just hey, you're committed to this. So you just pay a small fee, which like $5 to $10 is not much at all. You can probably standardize it internationally. So like in other countries, it's cheaper. And then use the event, like the grand final, as a big event that we can have sponsors look at. So I just need to be able to pitch it to sponsors to help pay for the event. So that'd be kind of how the more sustainable route would be, so that I can actually, because it'll still be a tough job for judges, for sure. And I want to pay judges very well and the creators involved. So that'd kind of be where I think a better model could be, but it's got a lot of work. It's got a lot of behind the scenes stuff to figure out, but you're kind of on the right track, Kaminuku. I think GBB does it pretty well. Gavin, do you consider origami with rectangle paper like Ronald Coast King Cobra real origami? Yes, I do. I think any shape you start with is kind of okay. As long as you don't cut it midway through, which is arguable. Nah, I don't think you can do that. Sorry, Hubert. There's a guy, there's an origami guy I know who cuts. Maybe his stuff is origami, but if anyone else does it, it's not. Different shapes. The rectangles, totally fine. Triangles, totally fine. Still origami. Same techniques, different shape. Yeah, it's still folding paper, right? Raza and Mika, what did I miss? We just kind of finished up talking about TwitchCon and my future goals, and some of the things I learned. Now I think we're gonna go to. Oh, what's up, Hershey? Thank you for resubscribing for 4 months in a row. Yo, shout out to Hershey too on Twitch. Thank you for that Prime sub. I hope you're enjoying the members Discord server. There's some fun stuff in there, I think, recently that I've been sharing. So good stuff, good stuff. Are rectangle paper designs allowed in competitions? That's a good question. In IOIO, where there's a mix of geometric and representational origami, all allowed in the custom design or original design category, yes. Rectangle papers were allowed. Hexagons were allowed. Even multi-sheet origami was allowed. You just had to declare it. So like a kusudama. Oh, you can't see it in the background. But this was a challenge in that competition. It's 30 sheets of paper. And then some people for their original design submitted the same type of origami. You just have to declare it. Now, say for instance you made something like this, but with multiple sheets of paper, and you tried to say it's one sheet of paper, the judges I'll choose, including myself, will very obviously know if it's one sheet of paper or not. So you'll be disqualified if you lie, which makes sense, right? It just breaks the rules. But for the most part, it's pretty lenient. It's pretty easy to tell. I don't think we've run into any issues or at least in OBP competitions, I haven't run into any issues with that. With regional design competitions hosted in Origami there, and we haven't really run into that issue either. And yeah, rectangles are fine. I love those. Yeah, they're fun. Well, okay. That one was not very fun to make. Some other ones might be a little bit more fun, but it's origami, right? It's fun for some people. There's that one is definitely a really cool looking one that's crazy to fold. But good question. Good question. Okay, so next on the list of to-do stuff, I think I do want to stream a little bit longer. I was going to... Okay, let me demonstrate how to invert a flap, because I at least wanted to do that. I might not do everything for that YouTube short. I'll save some of that for myself tomorrow when I have a little bit more of the process thought out. I kind of wanted to design one thing of just practice structure so I can do the whole video with just that. But for now, let's just invert a flap, right? Actually, with this Bailu, the tail's inverted. So like one purpose of inverting the flap would be potentially for color change. So you could do it like that. So this tail was like in the middle of the paper and I needed it color changed. So you can just invert it. So maybe we'll do that and then I'll work on this a little bit and then we'll kind of just wind down and that'll be the stream for tonight. I think this has been pretty fun. Okay, so let me grab some kami really quick. Okay, and I think we can do this with an 8 grid. I'm gonna verify this by just let's make inverted flap. So I think what I want to do is just something like this and invert it. Is this enough to invert is the question. Like it wouldn't really show. I kind of want to invert a 3x3. Okay, you know, is a 12 grid not too much? Would you guys rather fold a 12 grid or a 16 grid? Like the thirds is really easy, right? So let's do 12. Let's see. Okay. I don't know. And then we can invert starting like here. Okay, so it like roughly looks like that on the crease pattern. Yeah, what do you guys think? Would you prefer folding a 12 grid or a 16 grid? I think maybe a 16 grid you could do it uncleanly and it wouldn't take very long, but 12 grid cleanly is less folds than a 16, I guess. I don't know. So like here's my third. And you don't even really need to do this. You can just eyeball it. But like now we have thirds. So it really didn't take that much longer to fold. All right, and now that we have this, we can actually just do like question. What is the name of the application I use to make the crease patterns? It's called Oriedit. Mark, if you're still here, can you drop the link for Oriedit in the chat? Oriedita, Oriedit for short. It's Oriedit with an A at the end. Oriedita. It's the agreed upon best crease pattern software as of the moment. I know some people are working on better versions, like Brandon, for different problems. Like something that software is not very good at is calculating 3D creases or allowing that. But for the most part, if you're just trying to draw crease patterns or design, it's basically all you need. Next. Shout out to Mark, by the way. If you guys haven't seen Mark's origami, check out Mark Origami. This is the co-designer to the Square Twist Samurai, by the way. All right, 12 grid. Let's pull this. There you go. Yeah, while I was thinking of so someone asked me about, actually a lot of people have asked me about this inverted flap, but as I was thinking about how I should show this, which I kind of told them like, hey, I'll just do it in the next stream. But then I was wondering like, oh, do I make an upgraded or a next video, updated video for the crease pattern class with some of these harder steps to do? And then I was like, I'll just do a YouTube short. It'll be a lot easier for people to watch, and I think it's enough information to use. But then if I do in a live stream, then people can like slow it down. Thanks, Mark. There you go. Well, look at this. I'm not parachuting the collapse either. Crazy. Crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of like small optimizations in collapsing crease patterns I've developed over the years since I've made the crease pattern class, but I don't know if it's worth sharing it in a video. They're like very niche and situational. And I think a lot of people will just pick it up on their own too as you fold crease patterns. Okay, so here is our flap, and let's say we want to invert, I'm trying to make a hinge here. It's kind of on the fourth hinge, but maybe we can just fold through the layers. Yeah, it might be better if we have an actual hinge. Okay. Okay, there you go. So we have this flap here. Now to invert the flap, it's very similar. I kind of describe it as like a giant reverse fold. Or sometimes you have to fold it into a rabbit ear and then do a reverse fold as it's collapsed in a rabbit ear. So a lot of times you can start some of the creases like this. You just fold it as a rabbit ear. And now when you invert it, you don't have to like invert all the creases on the grid. Because a lot of it can just recollapse through the other side. Let's open this up a little bit. So you can see from that rabbit ear, see how it made these creases? All these little hinge creases. And that's what you would see something like this. Right. And now we can just pop this to the other side. And I actually don't really have to invert anything. I inverted technically that crease, but I can just recollapse everything like this. Now, if you have the rest of the model, it's going to be fighting you to finish the collapse because we technically need these parts in, and it's split. So this is where like the inversion part happens. And to resolve this, this is where you're going to need to treat it like a reverse fold. So you have it like this. We need to fold this mountain fold layer back. And in order to do that, the inside part here is going to kind of be like a reverse fold on this side, and here as well. And this is kind of just going along those creases we made when we did that rabbit ear. There you go. And pretty much like once you get this solid, if there's a lot going on with the rest of the model, a lot of times I'll just like put a clamp here so that I don't have to worry about it and just like fix everything else. It's like now you can see which used to be a flap on the outside over here. We have like this little groove where the flap should be, and then we have it underneath here, and if we want it to stick out, we just do that reverse fold type thing to get it to pop out. And generally this will consume like a whole unit of space. So you don't get as long as a flap because you need like one grid unit to do the inversion. But now, I kind of did that kind of messy, but see it's color changed, inverted flap. You can also just hide flaps that you don't want, shove it to the other side. Hopefully that helps. I'm gonna send this to the people who asked about the head empty one, because basically you do that and then I like squash fold it, and it makes the back of the head empty. The inverted flap is actually hiding behind this layer where the tie is. Not bad, right? Not bad. If you want to use this type of fold, guys, I recommended you fold Origami Hime from Crease Pattern. Oh, that's right. Mark, you're so smart. This is a very good example because the color change is actually used quite a lot here for the dress. Where is she? Wow, I can't believe I made this crease pattern flat folding too. So this flap is inverted. That makes the back of the dress. This is like the front edge. And so like it goes through the back to invert. The hair is actually just like an actual outside reverse fold through all the layers to color change it. But the back of the dress is color changed because of how it works in the crease pattern. See, here's the front, here's the back. You rotate these. Like that. So, this crazy stuff in the middle is where that dress is happening. And the hinges like work out in this manner after you actually flat fold it. But it's basically the general structure and then big reverse fold type thing to create that. Boys, can I do a tutorial on how we can use Origami? I actually don't need to do that because the plant psychologist already did. So I think he made a tutorial both for Origami and Orihime. And if it's not, then he has the tutorial for Orihime, which is the exact same buttons as Origami. So Origami is built off of a software called Orihime. And yeah, let me try to find it really quick. Okay, maybe I'll just send you Plant's channel and you find it. Oh, thanks, Mark. It's the goat. There you go. Spot. It's when you have reopened it to access area. Oh, wait. I missed something. It's when you have reopened it to access the area that you will be interrupted by life. There is no remembering your way out of that. I'm not sure what that was in reference for. Sorry, Spot. Yeah, I'm probably reading that out of context. It probably made sense in context. Okay. So now maybe we just work on this. We have open Q&A time. If you guys can think of any questions you have, you want me to try to answer. Go for it. And we'll just do a slight cool down. I think something maybe I'll show what I've started to get. So I have my MC in here. I also have a bigger bottle now for more MC. So I have my second batch in this. I've recently learned that I should be storing paintbrushes tip down. This one, it's taped because the whole structure broke off because I didn't take care of it very well. But I bought some new brushes, some very cheap brushes because I'm going to practice with the cheap stuff first and then use expensive ones later. But this is going to be for doing dry brushing, overbrushing, some slap chop, and some other techniques that I'm picking up from the world of miniatures. The other thing, though, is in order to do that, I brought some spray primer, which this probably isn't the best spray primer. But we're going to at least do a light coat after this is all solidified. So hopefully we can get some cool effects. It's been a long time since I've used spray paint. I think there's some benefit to it without changing the model too much. I still want it to look paperish, but we'll see. And then I bought a ton of acrylics and washes. Yeah, I don't want to just dry brush is the thing. Like we've seen that in origami a lot, especially recently. But I want to actually do some more care to give the texture, but using the dry brush technique. So like, but that's like only part of it. Like I want to do highlights after dry brushing. I want to do a wash I probably bought too many acrylic paints. I don't think I need all of these, but it's like to do like a metallic, right? Obviously, we have the start of a black. The slap chop, you would just do black and then dry brush white and then dry brush color on top of the white dry brush, but very lightly so it doesn't actually like paint over it. But I also got this glaze. I'm gonna try to do a glaze. So basically, I'm not gonna do the white here. I'm gonna do black with a mix of a silver, or this is like a zinc. So it's like a dark gray metallic with a silver as a base coat. And then I'm going to dry brush. What am I going to do? Oh, then it's going to be like a lighter. So then I'm going to do like silver white and then do white highlight. And then try to do a purple glaze on top of everything. We'll see that. If it doesn't work out, then I'm going to go to just a weathered look and use a burnt sienna, which you can make it look like rust by doing black, burnt sienna, then like a lighter, like the silvers on top. But it's going to be a practice. It's going to be a learning curve. Try to get these actual like weathered metallic looks instead of just black with dry brush. No worries. It was an event about life interfering with one's streams of concentration and focus. Oh, I see. Hey, that's relatable. Very relatable. But yeah, I think with the STS though, Mark, so if this works good enough, the STS I make from the tutorial, I'm going to do some sort of metallic texture or weathered paint look. Because I think that'd be cool. And I don't know what color I want. Maybe I'll do a color too and do highlights on it. Because I can make it samurai colored, you know. That'd be pretty cool. The very first samurai I made, I actually did a nice green base color with a maroon red on top, and it actually worked for the contrasting colors worked really well for that piece. Even though the origami itself wasn't that great, it's like the paint job worked really well because that paper was super cheap, butcher paper. I was like, hey, maybe it's time to like go back, but with more knowledge and make it look better. But this was supposed to be a quick fold so I could test it. It's turned into, I think I'm going on like 10 plus hours on this already. But it should be fun. There'll be a lot of areas for me to do highlights on, like the sword. And then all the little armor texture things. So you can see a little bit of shine already. That's just from the PVA. The nice thing about knowing I'm going to do at least a base coat of black on top of this is not worrying if I get glue marks on the origami. So a lot of times the thing I didn't like about using glues is sometimes it leaves residue. So a lot of my models recently have been pure MC shaping. Oh yeah, you can see like a little bit of residue on the pommel. And then you get like the shine if you put too much on top. But now it don't matter. The other thing I was looking into is like using graphite powder and then sealant afterwards, like graphite powder plus something else, and then using it to kind of buff out things. But I think the paper is too soft to do that. But we'll see. Maybe the spray coat primer will make it hard enough to work. But I'm not sure. The only thing I don't really know what to do with this design is actually the back plate. So it is a closed back model, but I don't want to leave this as like a blank square because of how detailed everything else is. I just don't know what to put on here yet, but we have a 2x2 to work with, but I think everything else is looking pretty good so far. The hand is looking okay. I think what's next, I do want to make the arm a little bit more 3D, which like that's good enough, but I think this will be like a glue some layers, open the other layers type thing. So like glue one side and then go between some of the layers here and do like a I don't know, something like this to give some more volume to the arms. Not too sure. Or just use the existing flap, and this might be enough. 3D crimp. Turn into a shield like Captain America. It does kind of look like a shield. Actually, you are right. Is the longsword crease pattern public? Technically no, because I haven't finished the model yet. And I post crease patterns after I finish the model. But if you want to see it, it looks like this currently. I think, what was it? It's a 28 grid. I know I just typed in 24, but I expanded it a little bit. So this is 28. So if you want to screenshot, oh wait, did I? Yeah, there it is. If you want to screenshot that, go ahead. A coat of arms for the armor backplate. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if I have enough space for that, but maybe like a simple, some kind of type of like emblem here, and then like just curving it into the backplate. Could be possible. Could be. The other fold I have, it's kind of boring. It's just folded, right? So I don't think I want to do that because that doesn't look very good. So maybe I'll put some type of pattern or thing if I can fold it into it on the back. Yeah, no problem, no problem. The other thing I did here is I fixed the hand structure. It's like the problem I had before with some of my hand structures, like for the samurai, is it's really hard to get the fingers thin because of all the layers in between that stack up. In this method, the first problem I had was it was in the way of doing a pommel, but that was just placement on my bad of doing a pommel. I don't know if you can see this. Like this hand is really bad on the test fold. This one I actually have all the fingers in the thumb that are the same size as the other hand because the structure is relatively the same. There is like a small optimization I'd want to do instead of stacking it like this, but you see I've stacked the fingers like this. So it's similar to this one. Ideally on the edge though, I would rather it be up one more and have it across 3 like this and only 2 levels up, not 3 levels up with 2 rows horizontally, because this makes it a little bit harder to shape. But I do enjoy this structure. It's nice, and you can distribute a lot of the layers down into the arm instead of leaving it all next to the hand. So might be hard to see, but like this big thing here is the distributed layers that would have been in the hand. That's now in the arm. And it's a lot easier to shape that through the arm than through the hand. And I think here, actually, we don't want glue. We want MC. We can probably just work on this arm for a little bit. But yeah, I think so with the release of this design, there's another surprise kind of tied to it. I'm not going to mention yet. It's a small collab, but it's with the same design, and my collab partner is actually done with his fold. I am not done with mine. So once this is done, I think we'll plan that out too. It's going to be both a post and I think a short form content. The post will probably go out a lot earlier than the short form content. The short form content will take some time to make, but I think it's okay. Even if it takes a little bit of time, because the post itself will be very cool, and you'll get to see a lot of contrast in styles between my shaping and his. Yeah, it should be fun. Should be fun. I'm looking forward to that quite a bit. As for other folding collaborations, there's the one I'm still working on with my friend Aspen. That's the backflip sequence. I've finished folding the base of all of those. I just need to shape them all and then find a good way to display them. So I think as I'm working on the Square Twist Samurai tutorial, I'm going to be like slowly finishing shaping those and then eventually display that. But that one has like less of a time burden because my friend is pretty chill there. It's pretty much all like whenever I finish stuff in order to make that video. But yeah. And then after that, I'm going to try to chill a little bit on collaborations, I think. And at least folding collaborations, just so I can finish all the videos I want to make for the rest of the year, which is this Square Twist Samurai tutorial. And then also, if I finish that early enough, start working on the Sword and Shield tutorial. I think that one's really fun. That's going to be less to do in general as well, since I've taught it at a live class. Like I've broken the sequence fast enough and shaping fast enough to just be done very quickly. Whereas something like the Square Twist Samurai is going to just take hours and hours to teach. It's a way more complex model with a lot more to shape. But yeah. You should make a Dragon Knight 3. Oh. Dragon Knight 3 would be pretty cool. I want to say the Sword and Shield Dragon Knight is almost version 3. The Sword and Shield DPA is almost Dragon Knight 3. Because the premise of that helmet was Dragon Knight 3. So it could just be using that same helmet and then doing a different armor and weapon and do a Dragon Knight 3. But I do like Dragon Knight type models. So that is something I might consider. I think also the helmet structure is really cool. So maybe I'll use that in a different model as well. Which model is this currently? Yeah, just joined. This is unreleased longsword model. Yeah. So in a previous stream, I had this. I had this one. But this was the test fold. And I didn't like the helmet. But I liked how big the sword was. And then the hand structure was also a test. Same with the legs. Since then, I've learned a lot better way to do legs. So this is the better leg, basically. So like you can see just the comparison of proportion. Like these legs are super thin. And the foot's kind of small. And the knee joint is like really forced. It almost like looks disconnected, right? Whereas this one, like, arguably the knee is a lot more defined and it's very round. You even have like ankle with the same amount of paper, which is great. I'll start DPA Sword and Shield. Yeah. DPA is great. It's I think that's still one of my best designs in terms of like the armors I've done. I'm trying to like get the hand wrapped around, but I don't want to squish the pommel too much. Okay, I think the thumb also needs some more volume. So let's actually like fold this in half a little bit. Clean folds, really need shaping practice to start DPA. Yeah, the nice thing is like you should be able to practice a lot of the components of the DPA without folding the whole thing. So you can like take a 16 grid and even like it's a 32 grid, right? So you can even just fold 16 grids and practice like the torso on its own or like just one leg and practice it. I think originally that's how I designed it too. There's like a video I made of, and you see like the different components separately, and then I like smash them all together, and it's a DPA. It wasn't the DPA now; it was like the old DPA. So what the less well folded one, but it's pretty cool that you can kind of do that because the grid size is pretty low and it's very modular like that, I guess, in some sense, where you can compartmentalize it. Same. Although you can find decrease pattern by going 5 minutes back. Yeah, I showed decrease pattern earlier in the stream. This stream's recorded, so you can find it later. Or I could just do this again, I guess. There you go. Okay, let's get a little bit of PVA on this finger instead of MC, so it'll stay in place a little bit. Mark Boyce, have you ever tried to show an expression in your fold and end up with a different one? Folded Katsuda's cat and somehow looks super sad. Oh, send it to me, dude. I think with animals, it's really hard. I think with human faces, I've tried some, and they all look angry. So no matter what I tried, whether I tried to make it look happy or sad, it just looked angry. In terms of poses, I did try like let me grab it actually because we were talking about DPAs. Hold on, I'll be right back. So instead of doing like direct expressions, I think expression with poses is not too like that. I've done quite a bit. Expression in face is completely different, but like this one was when I was first trying to do poses. I don't think this turned out well, but I was trying to do like the oh hey welcome adventure type vibe, but the folding quality and proportions, like the dude has no neck. Like in general, it's more of an execution issue. The hand's way too small. Yeah, it's just there's just too many other things wrong that the expression gets lost. Whereas like the DPA that I did for the tutorial, I think that one's got a lot of expression. Oh, actually, you know what? Like, head empty has expression in its pose, right? A lot of people they just feel something. Oh, and then like maybe for like the Tingyun, like doing something cute, right? That's just like a pose thing, or DPA one. Like this one is good because you can make them look angry, or like maybe not even angry, just like in battle mode. The man, where's the other DPA? The other DPA is actually really, really good with the face and pose. Oh, here we go. This one, right? This is like both pose and face to be expressive. But yeah, no, there's plenty of times though, like I've tried to do a face and not be in like a angry or battle type vibe, and it always just turns into angry. Body looks stiff. Yeah, okay, like compare the pose, or even like maybe not this one, but like compare the fold and pose quality of this to this. Isn't that crazy? And this is only the difference of like 1 year. of really trying to understand posing. From this is when I started to this was like after 1 year. Right. I think I got enough criticism from some of my friends, and it allowed me to do something like this. Criticism plus like a lot of studying. Recently made your Samurai V4, but the face looks bad. I just mushed something together. Yeah, it's okay. Looking back, my Samurai V4 faces look pretty bad too. With that structure, it's hard to get right. And oftentimes, like, the head just gets too big. Like, maybe with the shadow, this looks okay, but man, the nose is too big, like... And I think it's just because it's aged. Like, at the time, this was better than some of my other origami folds. But now it's, like, significantly worse than some of the other faces I've done. So, it's like the 22-24 standards of origami faces is affecting how good these ones were or how bad these ones are. Even between that one and like the Square Twist Samurai, the Square Twist Samurai folded is way better than the V4. It looks far worse than that. Oh no. Hey, that's okay. You know, hey, maybe you can... The lesson to learn is to revert to me and not do a face, right? Not doing a face, like... I don't know. That's okay. It'd be like that sometimes. It's okay to mush. Faces are just so hard, man. Okay, we got the PVA in there. I think I'm going to... pinch these fingers a little bit more each so that they're a little bit less flat. Hey boys, I want to see the Square Twist Samurai tutorial. Yes, many people want to see the Square Twist Samurai tutorial. First part should be ready sometime October. October, maybe like the first week of October. I'm going to be scheduling out in the upcoming week, like how I plan to distribute the tutorial, like the different parts of it. And then I'll be working on the intro and the pre-creasing guide video, which will come out. So the intro video, it's very important. It's going to detail like, hey, should you be folding this model? Or are you going to be wasting your time? Or basically, like, what do you need? What are the prerequisite skills? What are the prerequisite materials? What's the minimum size paper? It's obviously one of the hardest designs I have between my entire roster. So obviously, you can't fold it with A4 paper, and you cannot ask me if you can do it, and somehow that's going to magically let you be able to fold it with A4 paper. You know, so that's the intro video. I'm going to make it very clear on expectations for people. And I know people still ask, but that's okay. It's the life of a content creator. And then do the pre-creasing. And then that's like, if you can't do the pre-creasing, then you probably can't do the rest of the model anyways. So... Oh, I grabbed way too much. I think I've given people plenty of time, though. I told people before, like, hey, this is going to be a hard one. This tutorial one, go practice. You have some time before the tutorial comes out to practice your skills. But it should be a good tutorial. I'm going to be doing, like, I'm taking time in it because I want it to be a good tutorial. So, like, for the people who are ready to fold it, y'all will be ready to, you'll be folding it pretty easily. And then hopefully for the people who aren't ready to fold it, they just don't fold it. And they work on the other skills they need that I mentioned to learn to get ready to fold it one day. Because I have those tutorials on my channel too. That way they don't waste time. Pyramid, hello. Thanks for tuning into the stream. Welcome in. We were talking about TwitchCon. So if that's what you saw the title of, we are now working on some origami. So if you have any questions about what I'm doing or anything you want to see, or even about TwitchCon, if that's why you came in through here, let me know. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah. So I know my camera is like not focusing very well on this, but we're trying to do some fingers here. Fingers are kind of hard. I think in general, like artists don't like to draw hands or fingers if they don't have to. And folding them is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world either. It's going to take a few attempts, I think, to get these to look right. I just basically want it to look like it's grabbing the sword. They don't have to be super good, but okay, I'm gonna leave it for now and we'll come back. But roughly, it roughly looks like oh, that's like way more in focus now. Okay. I just set the manual focus and we're good. Mark, I'd say try to fold the Samurai V3 and DPA before attempting. Yeah, that's true. The Samurai V3 and DPA are like the best prereqs. Because like the DPA will teach a lot of the structural twisty moves. And the V3 is just like in general folding a Samurai. And it's the same helmet. I tried the DPA set. I'm just chilling here. Just posted some updates to my game on Game Jolt. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Are you a developer? Do you do indie games? Is that what you were working on? By the way, voice model recommendation, something from Sekiro. Oh, I know Sekiro. A game, probably the main protagonist or one of the mini bosses. Dude, Sekiro would be sick. I think I own the game. I just haven't played it. Because I still need to finish. Yeah, I have Sekiro. I bought it on a Steam sale. I haven't finished Elden Ring DLC though. So like, I can only play like one of those types of games at a time because they're intense, man. But it looks fun. I've watched. So Mr. Pokey, he actually very shortly after I finished his Tingyun video, it was during his subathon, he played through the entire thing of Sekiro. And I watched a lot of it. So it looks so fun. And boys, I tried your dragon plate armor set and completed. Oh, that's the typo. Nice. Yeah, so you're ready, Squirrel. That's good stuff. Good luck. I finished Sekiro once. Worst ending. No. Yeah, so there's multiple endings for that. I guess like Elden Ring, there's multiple endings too. Does it like change more? Like Elden Ring endings don't really change much. So like there's some replayability more so to just be a different class, but not really to do the endings. But is Sekiro's like, is it valuable to try to do like, is there like a new game plus mode and you can just do another ending? 4 total for Sekiro. Yeah, they do. Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that makes it more fun to try it again. For Elden Ring, I've only done 2 of the normal playthroughs, like one as a mage because I thought the spells were cool, and then one as like regular strength build. I'm just because classic gameplay. Thanks for your DPA tutorial. I can understand your TV series. Yeah, basically all of them are the same. Like once you fold the Dragonplate armor, you can fold all the other ones. Okay, so I think what I want to do, basically I've extracted these layers to be like the armor sitting over the arm. And then there's like a ton of crazy layers in the back here. So I think I just want to compress all these layers. No one's going to really be looking at them, but just to make sure the arm isn't too crazy thick. Yeah, let's get some of our MC and do that. Like the layers are distributed away from the hands, but in the arm, we still need to deal with them so that the arm isn't too thick. There was a Dragonplate armor. You missed the Dragonplate armor tutorial? Yeah, go check it out. Go check it out. I did a really good job on that tutorial, I think. I got a comment from Jeremy Schaefer. A compliment, I should say, on that tutorial. So I'll take that as it being one of my better made tutorials. I like it mostly because I was able to communicate like what was confusing or what could be confusing about it versus what's actually difficult about the model, and then in turn teach it in a way that is less intimidating and really approachable. So it's a good tutorial. You know, it's not too long, I don't think. How long is the tutorial? Maybe someone can check for me. How long is the DPA tutorial series? Like every video? It's probably not too crazy. I think there's more samurai videos because it was just like a less efficient tutorial. Another good news is that potential Origami Exhibition 2 is going to be open November. Oh, that's so exciting. If I was in Korea, I would so go. Those guys are so good. Bro Art Studio with the potential origami. Yeah, those are amazing. I talk to them in Discord sometimes. And then if you remember from last year, I bought a bunch of copies of their book to distribute for free or to give away for free. Not distribute, give away. Yeah, very talented, complex folders and designers. Jeremy's one of the OG origami YouTube. Yeah, he is, man. It's really nice. I've gotten to meet him a couple times now. Every time it's just like his presence is really unique. He knows how to entertain really well and showcase origami. So whenever he does his classes, even if it's like a fun action model, like you can really see the creativity and passion behind the model as he teaches it, which is a really unique experience in terms of like a class or learning to fold an origami piece. The Korean origami books are so well made. Yes, they very much are. Like each model is really cool. A lot of times people will buy a book for like one model, but I think people bought the potential book for like at least half of them, if not more, like that they would want to actually fold. Which is pretty crazy for a book to be able to do that. Okay, so I think because I've compressed these layers, now once it dries a bit more, I'll be able to actually shape the arm to properly have like a joint. Right now, it's kind of just like super stiff, like it's sticking out like this. I'd like to have it a little bit more like this. And you can see I've planned an elbow joint here, which I can use later. Yo, the Volan resub for 17 months, man. Thank you so much, dude. What a G. The Volan. Good stuff, good stuff. Yeah, Jeremy, Tadashi, and Joe Nakashima. Absolute legends, man. Yeah, Tadashi was the reason I wanted to become a YouTuber for origami. Joe, I just loved folding his tutorials. And Jeremy, I just respected in terms of everything. From his complex designs to his really creative designs to his ability to garner community. It's good stuff. All right. So we'll let that sit. Yeah, shaping, this is a very slow process that I'm currently on. This arm is the one that's like, there's actually, the fact that this arm is thin is kind of a problem. If it was thicker, I'd have more to work with. But that's okay. We're just going to PV8 for now, call it good. And then maybe open the backup once the internal layers are dry so that we can give it some volume. But I think it's okay to be kind of in a neutral pose. I don't have the length to do a crazy dynamic pose with this arm, which otherwise I would. Whether it's like pointing at someone or waving or doing like a come here type pose. Me, Mariano, and Fearless Flourish are the main complex. Yeah, that's true. And I wish the other two names you mentioned respected some ethics a little bit better. That's okay. Now Grant's he's taken down most of his previously copyright infringing material, I think. And then he has some weird stuff with AI, but he's still a homie. I just might not agree with everything that he does, which is fine, you know. Mariano, I barely agree with anything that guy does, but that's very publicly known. Yeah, is he still making... How often does Mariano post? I haven't seen his channel much for the past like 8 years because I'm banned. Is that crazy? Banned for respecting copyright? Every month? Wow. Does he do his own designs? Or is it still just like Kamiya models? Post pretty consistently. You know, pirating's pretty easy, so I guess it's easy to make videos. Kamiya and Kato, dang. Bro's been farming Kamiya and Kato for or Shuki for so many years now. That's wild, dude. He's isn't that funny? He's like the biggest fan potentially, but also like the most hated. That's crazy. I would hate to sell my reputation for doing that. I don't know how he does it. It's crazy. Okay, I think this elbow joint is off. Move it a little bit lower. I guess this more needs to be the shoulder. Is that too low now? Man, I think that's too low now. Yeah, the thing about this design is because I wanted it to fit in a pretty low grid, is the arms aren't necessarily long enough as I exactly want them, but it works enough at least. I think I just have to like take some time to really work at the position of each of these joints and curves. He remembers the Tadashi Mori battle. It's funny. Tadashi recently, like, or very recent to that video when it came out, like went back to his job, his old job, or data science, I think, old field, instead of YouTube. So a lot of people thought I made him quit, which is not true for sure. He had some videos after that, but like they were in the members. They're like member videos, not public videos. And his explanation video, I think, wasn't public either. Dude, I miss him though. His comeback, oh, it's great. I was talking with Tadashi like at least like once a month or something like that, and he was just like sharing ideas. It was really cool to like work with one of my heroes. And honestly, if he was still posting, like I probably would have gotten him as an option for like this year's Origami convention special guest, but since he's not really active right now, I can't do that. But speaking of Kamiya, how does he design his models? Does he follow a specific strategy technique like box pleating? No, dude, Kamiya's built different. So I think if you become a designer one day and as you learn to design more in both box pleat and 22.5, you'll just realize how good Kamiya Satoshi is at mixing, or not really mixing, but he just has so much control in his designs, and a lot of them are very elegant. So let me see if I can. What does he have recently? Does he have any grease patterns public? Not from last year. Penguin. Oh, these are all for his future book. Okay, maybe you can't see them, but if you like, you go to his website and you look at some of the kind of recent stuff, some of the recent crease patterns, if they're public, or maybe they're on Twitter, or you just like look at the designs. They just work and they're efficient. So, like the way I design with box pleat, right? It's very like you fold it and then like you have to do a lot, right? You have to do a lot of shaping. You got to do a lot of mushing. I have to adjust the proportions. A lot of the Kamiya models, the way they're designed makes the proportions work as is. So then it's just an elegant design in terms of the proportions and how you fold it. He does use sometimes like in his Cyclomatus Metalor for 2.0. It's a beetle that's a 22.5 based beetle, but it uses things like level shifters, like a box pleated level shifter in the shell without having to do any real grid or anything like that. And it's like it makes sense. It just works really, really well. And it's really beautiful how he designs stuff. He's still the GOAT. Like, I think he's just doing whatever he wants to do, but like not really, nothing Ryujin level, right? But everything's good in terms of design. Fearless First has gotten better at copyright things, now only just presentations and some tutorials. Yeah, I think Grant, he's doing good. He folds well. I don't know, man. I think he could get a little more creative in some of the content he makes. Like, I wish he made more content that was, I don't know. There's like, it's hard for me to like fully watch one of his videos now, just because I don't know. Maybe the structure of it just isn't as entertaining. But I feel like he has so much potential because he's worked on some photography stuff and he has like the right ideas, and he's had some comedy stuff in the past and creative ideas in the past. But maybe he's just in his like, he's just waiting, you know, he's just in a growth stage where there's not too much going on, and then he'll like start pumping out projects later on. But who knows? I think learning the design would help him a lot too. Maybe he's got like a creative block. I'm not sure. Because like in terms of when he was really making a lot of videos in the past, he was a very good technician, I would say, where like his like actual ability to fold was pretty good. But now in like today's standards, it's I don't know. There's some room to improve maybe. Like he can make papers with cool patterns, and there's a lot of potential to be done. More design, less refolding. What's up, Shaynara? Yo, yo, yo. How's it going? How's it going? Yeah, but like I said, I mean, I'm saying all this stuff. Grant's a homie still. How's it going, Shaynara? What you up to, dude? It's a Saturday afternoon. What you got planned for the weekend? Sorry, I'm trying to pull focus. Okay, there you go. What do you think so far, Shaynara, of this night? Yeah, it's 11:30. Nice. Nice, yeah. It's right in the middle of the day. But yeah, for the people still here, I am giving a talk at my 11 on Saturday. So in about 12 hours. Sorry, in exactly 12 hours with CFC. So let me drop the link really quick. I think there's just a Zoom link that was posted. But let me see if I can find the update. Yeah, go to this website. I think on somewhere on the banner, I'm on there, but I'm giving a talk. So it should be a really good talk about hobbies and profession strategies and origami by boys. The night's looking awesome. Thank you, man. Oh, I won't be able to make it. Yeah, I'm not sure if they're recording it, but if not, you can ask me about it next stream. And I'll probably relay a lot of what I talked about. Yeah, because I think it'll be pretty good. I have like some bullet points about topics I know are going to be discussed, but I think in the free-flowing conversation, I'm going to be able to bring up a lot of cool stuff. 12 hours, I need to set my alarm. Yeah. I think, okay, so I know on their Instagram, they posted a link. I don't know where the other link could be. I might be able to just post it here. Hold on. Let me, maybe it was emailed to me. Okay. This may or may not work. Missed it. You're doing a live. So I'm going to be interviewed in a live Zoom event. So you should be able to join that in 12 hours. This is, I don't know if you're going to need that. That's like the room passcode. But I will post this in Origami Darren Discord after the stream ends. In case you don't have it here. So, yes. It's a little bit last minute notice, but yeah, it should be fun. Why don't I write a book, boys? I think you got enough knowledge and experience. You know, that's a good question. Like not an origami book, but like an actual like experience book. I was thinking of making like a web course with a lot of the information I know, but I'm not sure who it would be for. I think a book would be cool one day. The thing is, I feel like I'm still in the learning phase, and then maybe in like 5 years, if the things I'm working on actually work, then I'll have a tangible, like resume of things that I've worked, especially if I innovate more of the competition space and scale it to be a lot bigger. Then I'll have like that experience of scaling, not just like the theory to base on. In my spare time. What spare time? That's the real question. It's like, sure. I don't have much spare time. 100% would buy a book on Knights and Samurai. Yeah, if there was a way for me to diagram so much faster, I would. Right now all my diagrams are being done by other people, even to save time because I don't have time to do it myself, and it still takes a long time. And like Nicholas Lowe is really good at diagramming, and it still takes a lot of time for these dragons to get diagrammed. So something like a knight would be crazy to do. But hey, maybe as I get older, I'll be able to make simpler knights that look equally as cool, but are much more diagrammable. So yeah, we'll see one day. Gavin, have to leave. Nice talking to you in chat. Thank you for tuning in. I think I'm almost done with this stream too. I'm gonna wrap up this last little bit, and we'll call it a day because I should probably get some rest and prep for my interview tomorrow, and it'll be good. But yeah, so I'll do. Let's see. Let me just add this little layer of PVA. I'm gonna leave this here, and we're just going to use a little wire to hold it in place for tonight, and then we'll do a little outro, and that'll be it. Vishwajit, hello. I'm late. Yeah, we're just about to end actually, unfortunately, but thanks for tuning in, man. Always good seeing you in the chat. You get a little sneak preview on what I was working on here. And then if you want to go back after the stream's over, you can listen to all the my experience at TwitchCon and all the stuff I learned. I have a bunch of advice I kind of discussed. Not really advice, but a lot of learning and strategy that I'm going to be applying to just my origami in general over the next couple months. But yeah, okay. So I think that's it. Thank you everybody for tuning in. We had some people subscribe. We had some people join. A lot of great questions and conversations. Next couple weeks, I'm still going to do the weekly live stream if I can, which I should be able to at least for the next 4 weeks. The first week of November, I'm going to Origamit in Boston, and that's going to be an origami convention. I'm probably going to make at least a short vlog for that experience, and it's going to feature some fun with me and Brandon and a special guest. I'm not sure if the special guest has been announced yet, but it's a very, very exciting special guest that I will do a lot of interaction with. That's going to be crazy. Like, that's actually be really, really insane. And it's going to be maybe not as big as Origami USA convention, but I'm kind of more excited about it than this year's Origami convention. So that'll be fun. It's been a little bit of time since me and Brandon, actually it hasn't been that long since I saw Brandon, but the B Wongs are going to be in action. Square Twist Samurai tutorial will ideally be completely done by then, and Origami will be the first time it gets exhibited in person. So stay tuned. I'm going to be working really hard for that Square Twist Samurai tutorial. I've got the paper. I finished cutting it out yesterday. It's ready to fold. I'm just got to record it, at least the first part, and plan how I'm going to teach it. And yeah, Origami nice. See you then. That's right. Should be good. So I've got to go to sleep. Perfect timing. Thank you everybody for watching. I'll see you in the next video or something like that. Stay tuned for a lot of short form content. I'm going to be pushing out some cool stuff. I have like a few ideas I'm really going to try to execute on. So 2 more origami content in the future. Have a lovely evening or day, and I'll see you later.